Stop for a moment. This message arrived on this exact date for a reason. Timing like this carries weight. Moments like this rarely repeat. Across spiritual traditions, meaningful messages appear when awareness is ready, not earlier, not later. Ancient texts speak of appointed times. Modern psychology confirms heightened perception during specific mental windows. Both point to the same truth. Certain days open doors of attention. Today stands as one of them. This date holds a quiet significance. Energy patterns shift. Focus sharpens. The mind becomes receptive. Messages that once slipped past suddenly land with clarity. That pattern explains why this video found its way to your screen now. Not yesterday, not tomorrow. Staying until the end matters, because understanding timing changes everything. People search endlessly for signs, yet overlook the role of readiness. This video reveals how recognition begins internally before life reflects it externally. Small realizations turn into large turning points once timing aligns. Many miss these signals because they rush past them. Others sense something important yet fail to understand it. Here, the hidden structure behind meaningful timing becomes clear. Knowledge like this steadies the heart and sharpens direction. It replaces confusion with calm certainty. A quiet selection process unfolds constantly. No noise, no display, only alignment. Those who notice it gain an advantage few ever access. Awareness becomes protection. Stillness becomes strength. This message stands as an invitation to recognize patterns rather than chase outcomes. The end of this video brings clarity that many search for during years. Welcome to Shaolin Divine Flow, a place where ancient wisdom meets quiet truth. Subscribe to remain connected to messages meant to reach at the right moment. Pause. That small hesitation mattered more than it seemed. The finger slowed down, the scroll stopped, not because of interest or curiosity, but because of a feeling that arrived quietly and asked for attention without words. A quiet pull works differently from curiosity. It does not rush or demand. It does not shout for focus. It simply creates stillness. In a world trained to move fast, that stillness is rare. When it appears, it carries meaning. It interrupts momentum not to distract, but to realign. The mind usually moves quickly, jumping from one thought to another, rarely resting, yet something cut through that noise and asked for presence instead of action. This pull did not come from outside. It rose from a deeper place, a place that recognizes significance before logic forms an explanation. Ancient spiritual teachings describe this as resonance. When truth approaches, the body responds first. A calm spreads through the chest. Awareness softens. A sense of familiarity appears without reason. It feels known even when the message is new. Many ignore that sensation. They dismiss it as random and move on. Yet those quiet pauses often shape direction more than loud decisions. That moment of stillness signals readiness, not perfection, but an inner alignment forming quietly beneath the surface. Change always begins this way. Silent, subtle, nearly invisible. The pull appears when surface answers stop satisfying, when noise loses its appeal, when deeper understanding becomes necessary. You stayed not because the message was loud, but because something within recognized a frequency it understands. That recognition is rare, and it never forces itself. Divine selection rarely arrives with spectacle. There are no announcements, no dramatic signs in the sky, no moment where the world pauses to point in your direction. God's way of choosing moves quietly, almost unnoticed, because attention drawn by noise often feeds ego, not growth. Silence protects what is being formed. Those chosen are usually not the ones seeking recognition. They are shaped in private moments, in unanswered prayers, in seasons where nothing seems to move. While others receive quick validation, the chosen are guided through stillness. That stillness teaches listening. It sharpens awareness. It builds depth that cannot be rushed. Confusion often accompanies this process. Feeling lost becomes common, direction feels blurred. This is not failure, it is separation. Noise is being removed so clarity can develop. When external guidance fades, inner guidance learns to speak. Many walk away during this stage because silence feels uncomfortable, yet those who remain discover strength forming beneath the surface. Delays also play a role. Prayers seem to echo without response. Effort appears unseen. Time stretches longer than expected. These delays are not denials. They refine intention. They prepare the heart to receive without attachment. What arrives too early often collapses. What arrives at the right time holds. Weight increases during preparation. Responsibility grows. Emotional pressure deepens. This weight is not punishment. It is capacity training. Only those trusted with more are asked to carry more. Strength expands through endurance, not ease. Past experiences contribute quietly. Loss, disappointment, and struggle strip away illusion. They teach discernment. They teach humility. Pain sharpens perception in ways comfort never could. Through these experiences, patience develops. Patience becomes power. Unnoticed shifts begin to occur. Reactions soften. Urgency fades. A calm replaces restlessness. This change signals alignment. Before life changes outwardly, something settles inwardly. That inner shift confirms that preparation is nearing completion. Feeling lost is one of the most misunderstood stages of being chosen. Direction seems unclear. Old paths no longer feel right, yet new ones have not appeared. This space creates discomfort, but it serves a purpose. Confusion arrives when old identities are dissolving and new awareness is forming. It signals transition, not collapse. Chosen people often outgrow environments before understanding where they belong next. Familiar routines lose meaning. Conversations feel shallow. Goals that once motivated no longer satisfy. This internal shift creates the sensation of standing between worlds. Nothing feels stable, yet nothing is truly wrong. During this phase, clarity is intentionally withheld. Immediate answers would anchor growth too soon. Uncertainty stretches perception. It teaches trust without guarantees. The mind learns to sit without control. That ability becomes essential later when responsibility increases. Isolation frequently follows, not physical loneliness, but emotional distance. Fewer people understand the internal changes taking place. Silence increases. Reflection deepens. This withdrawal protects the transformation happening quietly. Growth needs space before exposure. Mistakes may occur here. Wrong turns. False thoughts. These are not setbacks. Each one removes another illusion. Discernment sharpens through contrast. Wisdom forms through experience, not instruction. This stage also softens judgment. Having felt lost, compassion expands for others walking unseen battles. Humility replaces certainty. Strength becomes quieter. That quiet strength lasts. As confusion lingers, something unexpected develops. Awareness deepens, reactions slow, listening improves. The heart becomes steadier even without answers. This calm signals readiness approaching. Feeling lost does not mean direction is absent. It means direction is being refined. The path is narrowing, removing what no longer aligns. When clarity returns, it arrives suddenly, clean and unmistakable. Until then, the uncertainty itself continues shaping what will soon be revealed. Delayed answers often create the deepest questions. Prayers rise repeatedly, yet nothing seems to change. Silence follows sincerity. This silence feels heavy, but it carries intention. Not every response arrives as an event. Some arrive as inner restructuring. When prayers appear unanswered, attention is being redirected inward, desire is being refined, motives are being examined. Immediate fulfillment can satisfy the surface, but delay shapes the foundation. What forms during waiting determines how the answer will be carried. Faith matures here. Trust separates from outcome. The heart learns to remain steady without reassurance. This strength cannot develop through quick results. It grows through endurance. It grows when hope continues quietly, even when nothing confirms it. During this period, subtle lessons unfold. Patience sharpens awareness. Dependence shifts from circumstance to conviction. The mind loosens its grip on control. That release creates space for wisdom to settle. Many interpret delay as absence. In reality, movement is occurring beneath visibility. Roots deepen before branches rise. Stability forms before expansion. What arrives prematurely lacks grounding. What arrives after preparation stands firm. Disappointment may surface. Doubt may whisper. These moments test sincerity. They reveal whether belief exists for reward or for truth. Only faith that survives silence becomes unshakable. Delayed answers also protect timing. Certain changes would overwhelm an unprepared heart. Certain blessings require a stronger identity. Waiting strengthens capacity. Capacity determines sustainability. Gradually, expectations soften. Gratitude becomes quieter. Contentment grows independent of results. This inner shift marks progress. It signals alignment approaching completion. The delay is not emptiness, it is formation. While the mind waits for change, the spirit evolves. When the answer finally arrives, it meets a version ready to receive it fully, without fear, without collapse, without attachment. The weight you've been carrying did not appear by accident. It settled slowly, layer by layer, to responsibilities you never asked for and emotions you rarely shared. Some days it felt invisible to others, yet heavy within. This heaviness is not a flaw. It is evidence of capacity. Those given greater depth often feel more. They sense undercurrents others overlook. They carry concerns beyond themselves. This sensitivity creates weight, but it also creates awareness. Strength does not always feel powerful. Often it feels tiring. Spiritual weight develops through endurance, through holding steady while situations remain unresolved, through remaining kind when bitterness would be easier, through choosing restraint when reaction feels justified. Each choice adds weight, yet also expands inner strength. Emotional heaviness sharpens empathy. It teaches understanding without words. Those who carry it become safe spaces for others, even while struggling silently. This role is rarely chosen consciously. It is assigned quietly. Pressure builds character. Muscles strengthen under resistance. The same principle applies internally. The weight tests limits, then extends them. Capacity grows without announcement. There were moments when release seemed necessary, when exhaustion blurred clarity. Those moments did not signal weakness. They marked thresholds being crossed. Rest becomes essential here, not escape. Carrying weight also refines focus. Trivial distractions lose appeal. Meaning becomes important. Depth becomes necessary. Superficial noise fades naturally. Not everyone is trusted with heaviness. Some would break beneath it, some would misuse it. Capacity determines assignment. What you've carried reflects trust placed in your resilience. Gradually something shifts. The weight no longer crushes. It stabilizes. It grounds. It teaches balance. Strength integrates with softness. Endurance blends with wisdom. This heaviness has been shaping you quietly, expanding what you can hold. It prepares you to receive without being overwhelmed, to lead without force, and to remain steady when change arrives. The past did not break you to destroy you. It broke you to remove what could not carry forward. Pain entered as a teacher, not an enemy. It stripped away false certainty and exposed what was real. Through loss and disappointment, perception sharpened. Pain forces attention inward. It removes distraction. It demands honesty. When comfort disappears, truth becomes unavoidable. The illusions once relied upon fall apart. What remains is essential. Strength forms here quietly. Not the loud kind that proves itself, but the steady kind that endures. Each hardship stretched awareness. Each disappointment refined judgment. Trust became careful. Choices became intentional. Broken moments teach discernment. You learn to recognize patterns. You learn to read silence. You learned when to step back and when to stand firm. These lessons could not be taught gently. They required experience. Pain also softened edges. Compassion expanded. Judgment lessened. Understanding deepened. Having endured, empathy became natural. This sensitivity does not weaken. It strengthens connection. There were times when the breaking felt final, when recovery seemed distant. Those moments forged resilience. Getting up without applause builds integrity. Healing without validation builds confidence. The past reshaped values. What once mattered faded. What truly matters emerged. Simplicity gained importance. Depth replaced noise. purpose clarified quietly. Every fracture redirected energy. Weak attachments fell away. Strong ones remained. This separation was necessary. Carrying unnecessary weight limits movement. Through breaking, alignment formed. Identity clarified. Authenticity emerged. The person left standing after the storm is capable of holding responsibility without ego. Pain shaped perception. Perception shaped strength. That strength now exists not to defend against the world, but to move through it with clarity, restraint, and quiet authority. Silence arrives as one of the hardest tests because it offers no feedback, no reassurance, no direction. It feels empty at first, yet it carries instruction. Patience grows when nothing responds. Waiting without confirmation trains steadiness. This silence is not absence, it is restraint. Action pauses so awareness can deepen. Constant movement distracts from inner signals. Stillness amplifies them. In silence, perception sharpens. The urge to force outcomes becomes visible here. Impatience reveals attachment. Desire for control surfaces. These reactions expose areas needing balance. Learning to remain calm without answers strengthens trust. Time stretches during this phase. Days feel longer, progress appears stalled, yet beneath the surface, alignment continues. Foundations strengthen quietly, roots deepen unseen. Silence teaches listening beyond words. Intuition develops. Subtle cues become noticeable. This sensitivity prepares discernment. Guidance shifts from external validation to internal clarity. Many misinterpret silence as punishment. They withdraw faith. They assume abandonment. In truth, silence protects growth. Premature feedback could distort formation. Answers given too early limit maturity. Patience refines intention. It separates surface desire from deeper calling. What fades during waiting was never essential. What remains becomes undeniable. Emotional regulation strengthens here. Reactions slow. Impulses soften. The mind learns restraint. This control prevents future imbalance when circumstances shift quickly. Silence also builds independence. Reliance moves inward. Confidence stabilizes without applause. Identity detaches from outcome. As patience develops, restlessness fades. Peace replaces urgency. This calm signals readiness. When movement resumes, it flows naturally. No force required. Silence was never empty. It was preparation. Every quiet moment shaped endurance. Every unanswered period trained trust. This patience now stands as strength, ready to support what comes next. Something about this moment feels different, even if it's hard to explain. The same situations may exist on the surface, yet the internal response has changed. There is less urgency, less resistance. The need to force outcomes has softened. This shift signals readiness. Before, effort came from tension. Action was driven by fear of delay or loss. Now movement feels calmer. Decisions feel clearer. The difference lies not in circumstances, but in perception. Awareness has matured. Lessons have settled. Reactions have slowed. Emotional balance has strengthened. These internal changes alter timing. What once arrived as struggle can now arrive as alignment. Capacity determines timing, not desire. This moment stands apart because identity has shifted. You are no longer reaching for validation. You are grounded in understanding. That grounding changes how opportunities respond. Life meets stability with openness. There is also clarity in boundaries. Energy no longer scatters. Focus sharpens. Distractions lose their grip. This focus creates momentum without strain. Faith has deepened quietly. It no longer demands proof. Trust has grown independent of outcome. This internal certainty allows patience to coexist with expectation. Another difference appears in acceptance. The past no longer pulls attention backward. Regret has loosened. Attachment has softened. Space has been created for what aligns now. Readiness expresses itself as calm anticipation, not anxious waiting. This calm attracts response naturally. When resistance dissolves, movement accelerates. This moment differs because the inner work is complete. The struggle phase has taught its lessons. The refining phase has shaped resilience. Now alignment approaches visibility. Nothing needs to be forced. Recognition will arrive gently. What unfolds next will feel natural, not sudden. The difference is subtle, yet undeniable. This moment stands as a turning point shaped by preparation, finally meeting timing. The most important shifts often happen quietly, without announcement. While attention stays fixed on external results, internal change moves ahead unnoticed. Thoughts soften, reactions slow, emotional patterns rearrange themselves gently. These shifts signal movement long before circumstances respond. There is less need to explain yourself now, less desire to prove. Silence feels comfortable rather than empty. Discomfort reflects confidence settling in. Identity stabilizes without effort. Perspective has widened. Situations once triggering now feel manageable. Challenges no longer feel personal. Detachment develops, not as indifference, but as clarity. This clarity protects energy. Values have rearranged themselves subtly. Time feels more precious. Depth matters more than volume. Meaning outweighs approval. These changes shape future decisions automatically. Self-trust has grown quietly. Intuition speaks more clearly. Doubt loses authority. Choices feel guided rather than reactive. This internal guidance system strengthens through stillness. Emotional resilience has expanded. Setbacks no longer derail balance. Recovery happens faster. This resilience creates stability others notice even before you do. Patience feels natural now. Waiting no longer creates tension. Confidence rests beneath uncertainty. This calm allows opportunities to approach without resistance. Internal alignment always precedes external shift. Life reflects inner state in time. What changes inside first determines what can arrive safely outside. You may not recognize this shift yet because it lacks drama. It feels ordinary, yet it marks readiness. The foundation is set. External changes respond to inner order. When thoughts settle, circumstances follow. When identity aligns, direction clarifies. This unseen shift stands as the final adjustment before movement becomes visible. At some point, desperation fades without being noticed. The urgency that once pushed every thought begins to loosen. Peace settles in its place, not as excitement, but as steadiness. This calm arrives quietly, without explanation, and yet it feels certain. Questions that once demanded answers lose their grip. The need to constantly check progress dissolves. Trust takes over naturally. This trust does not rely on signs or reassurance. It rests on inner knowing. The heart feels lighter. Breathing slows. Presence deepens. Even uncertainty feels manageable. This shift confirms alignment more clearly than any external result ever could. Peace acts as confirmation because it cannot be forced. It emerges only when resistance ends. When acceptance integrates fully, struggle releases its hold. This release opens space for clarity. There is less comparison now. Others' timelines no longer disturb focus. Envy fades. Contentment grows. This contentment signals freedom from pressure. The mind becomes quieter. Thoughts organize themselves. Decisions require less effort. Direction feels intuitive. Movement happens without strain. This peace protects momentum. It prevents impulsive action. It preserves balance. What unfolds next will require steadiness, not urgency. This calm prepares for that responsibility. Inner dialogue softens. Self-criticism weakens. Compassion extends inward. Confidence stabilizes without arrogance. Strength expresses itself gently. This confirmation does not shout. It whispers reassurance. It says, enough has been done. Preparation has served its purpose. Peace replaces desperation as a signal of readiness. When the heart rests, life responds. This calm stands as the final internal alignment before visible change begins to move forward naturally. Take a slow breath here. Let everything settle. Nothing needs to be chased now. Nothing needs to be proven. A gentle seal has already been placed on this moment. Calm faith is enough. Trust is enough. Alignment has begun quietly, exactly the way it always does. Whatever you've been waiting for no longer needs force. What is meant to move will move. What is meant to arrive already knows the way. Your role now is simple. Stay steady. Stay open. Stay grounded in the peace you feel right now. This calm is not emptiness, it is confirmation. It means the inner work has aligned with the right timing. From here, life responds differently, softer, clear, more precise. If this message resonated with you, take a moment to like the video. It helps this message reach others who may need it at the right time. Subscribe to Shaolin Divine Flow to stay connected to teachings meant to arrive when awareness is ready. Carry this feeling with you. Let it guide your next steps gently. You are not behind. You are not overlooked. You are exactly where preparation meets purpose. What is aligned no longer rushes. It flows.